And I suspect my son was also being attacked because he would wake up crying the same time I would wake up. So like I was getting shocked with electric shocks, okay, several times a night. I would wake up like I was being choked. I would wake up gasping for air. My son slept in a crib next to my bed, and when I would like wake up from a nightmare or something of somebody yelling at me, like it sounded like somebody was yelling at me, but then I'd wake up and nobody was in the room. Or electric shocks, or like my heart stopping and things like that. And it would just be several times a night, just constant. And it a lot of the times when I would have these nightmares, I'd wake up, and then 2 seconds later, my son would wake up crying. So this happened many, many, many times, okay, where I do know now that they have the technology where they can beam images at your head while you sleep. They can beam sounds to your head while you're sleeping. They can beam images to your head while you're sleeping and they can cause you to have certain nightmares. I know this because I had this one nightmare where there was this image in my mind, a horrible image. And when I woke up, the negative of the image was still on my eyelids. What I mean is, like, if you have ever looked at a light bulb and then closed your eyes, it's kind of like, there's like this image, this negative image of the light bulb on your eyelids, and that was like what that was. I had this nightmare of this image, and then when I woke up, I closed my eyes, and the negative of that image was still on my eyelids. So I know that they were beaming something into my mind somehow. It's not science fiction, it's real. This stuff is patented, and you guys, I promise I will go and try to find these patents for you so I can show them, but you can do your own research. I am super, super busy, which I know it's classic, everybody says that, but it's true. I just don't, I just haven't had the time to go do that research, but I am going to try to do that so that I can show you guys. But if you want to know, you can go do the research yourself. The patents are there. This technology exists. So, I mean, the electromagnetic harassment started in 2010 after I quit that company. And at that time, I knew I was being attacked with something. There was no question about it. And so I started using aluminum. I did some research, and I experimented with aluminum, and I would get like this aluminum foil, and I'd tape it onto a cardboard, and I would put it over me at night. And I discovered that the aluminum stopped the attacks. And in fact, when I started using the aluminum, the attacks actually picked up, and I could literally hear it popping on the aluminum above me, like they were beaming something onto me, and it was like popping. In the original time frame when I was doing that, before I had it completely covering both me and my son at night, when I was just kind of experimenting with it, I could feel it on my feet, but then I would be completely protected above. So I started using that as a shelter to protect me and my child. But now I use thermal blankets, and thermal blankets do work. And I'm telling you, people don't want to believe this, and they just go on. And I don't even respond to messages anymore. So don't bother doing it, because I don't even read my messages anymore. I don't want to listen to all the crap anymore. There's just too much crap. And I'm sorry for those of you that are sincere people, but there's just too much crap, and I can't handle it. I can't, people that are just, they haven't experienced this, and they want to throw their 2 cents in, and I don't want to listen to it, because you don't know what you're talking about. If you haven't experienced this, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm telling you that I'm an intelligent human being, and I know that when I'm being attacked with electric shocks, it's not my imagination, okay? And they're stopping my heart and stuff like that. Anyway, I just wanted to say that, that's something that they do at a certain point in the gang stalking too. That's something that a lot of targeted individuals are talking about. So I just wanted to go ahead, and this is turning into like 3 videos. I guess, and I apologize because I kind of wanted to turn it into one, but 3 is okay. I mean, it's only like, it's less than an hour worth of listening to. It's better than the stuff before. But I still encourage you to watch those other videos because they go into more detail, and there's a lot of stuff that I haven't mentioned in this video here, in these videos right here, this 3 series. There's just a lot of really, really weird stuff that I'm not going to mention here just because it's just too weird. But if you want to know, I encourage you to watch the whole playlist of my targeted individual experiences. So I just wanted to quickly go over, like, they have some type of light bending technology. It seems like they're able to change appearance. They're able to, like, impersonate other people somehow with this light bending technology. I met this guy one time who, very, very weird. He seemed like he had this glow around his face. And I remember at the time, this is way before I had started figuring out what was going on. He had this light around his face, and I was like, where is that light coming from? And he looked so much like somebody else that I had dated that I really loved, and he looked like him. In fact, this has happened twice, where somebody will look identical to somebody that I had loved in the past. But in this particular instance, I could see this light emanating from his face, but I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And so it was really, really weird. And I remember thinking, where is the light coming from? There's light coming from his face. And I was like looking at his hat and his collar, and I'm trying to figure out, where's the light coming from? So you guys, I really think they have some type of light bending technology that they're able to alter people's appearances with. I have evidence of that, okay? And what I mean when I say I have evidence is I have had experiences that the only way it can be explained is if somebody's using some type of, or they're experimenting anyway with this technology. The other thing is, you know what, I'm not going to go over that. I'm just going to say that, I have proof, I know for a fact that they can intercept your phone conversations, and they can intercept your email, your Facebook, everything. With the phone conversations, I mean, you wouldn't know that you're not talking to that person because it sounds totally authentic. Like the time, I think I just told you about my mom. My mom saying that to me over the phone, and I just know that my mom would never say that. But that, I'm just telling you, it sounds very authentic. So, I mean, I would recommend, if you want to really touch base with somebody and talk to them, you need to do it face to face. And then the other thing is, even with face to face conversations, they have technology to where they have 2 different devices that I think possibly they've combined into one device. They have the device that can record your voice remotely, okay? It records your voice remotely. Then they have a software that can take your voice and play it back saying whatever they want it to say. They like talk into a microphone, and they play, and your voice comes out the other end. So they'll be saying all kinds of weird crap, but your voice is what's coming out on the other end. They have that technology. I know for a fact they have that technology because, like I told you, I know my mother would never encourage me to, like, do immoral things. My mother's just not like that. So I know that they have that technology, but I also know that they can record your voice remotely. I know because they recorded my voice and sent it back to me as a voicemail. So they can so if you're sitting there in a room, for example, talking to somebody face to face, they can, if they wanted to, if these psychos who are targeting us, if they wanted to, they aim this device at you and record your voice, and then play your voice back to the person sitting next to you. So there's 3 devices, okay? First device records your voice. The second software plays your voice back saying whatever they want it to say. Okay, like they talk into a microphone and it comes out the other end as your voice. The third device beams a voice, beams a person's voice to your ear and nobody else's ear. And I can't remember the name of that, but if you go back and you look at, I made a video showing you this technology. It's called Tech that breaks up families and ruins lives. Technology that breaks up families and ruins lives. Go back and watch that video that I made. I show some of the technology that they use to do this. Specifically, I show the device where they can where they can talk into a microphone and beam a voice only to you and no one else. It's called laser something. Laser sound or something like that, to where they can beam it to your ear, but no one around you will hear what you are hearing. Only you will hear it. And it's called laser, I don't know, whatever, laser sound or something like that. Anyway, this device, so what I'm saying is, literally, when you're sitting in a room talking to your friend face to face, they can beam your friend's voice to your ear saying something that your friend did not say to you, that they said to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they stand there with a microphone and they record your friend's voice first, then they beam it, then they beam your friend's voice to your ear saying whatever they want your friend to have said. And it's usually, if they do that, it's because they're trying to destroy relationships. So if you've ever been like with a friend or your husband or your girlfriend or whoever it is, and they've said something absolutely absurd to you that's just extremely offensive enough for you to divorce them or even break up with them, then I would suggest that you try to verify that they said that by writing it down. Because if you're being targeted with this technology and they're trying to split up your family or split up your relationships or whatever, the only way to really know is if you're sitting in front of somebody face to face and you guys are writing on a piece of paper and you're writing down what you're saying. Because and I'm sorry, and I've never done that. I mean, I just, I say this to you guys, but I don't even do it myself because it's so weird. But I'm just telling you, I know this technology exists, and I know for a fact they've used the voice technology against me. They used my mother's voice to try to influence my life. I know for a fact they did that. That's absolutely no question. I know for a fact that this other technology exists that can beam a voice directly to your ear without anybody else around you hearing it. I know that. I've seen that technology myself. And I showed you guys a video of that. But I don't know for a fact that they've used this technology against me with regards to like just sitting there face to face talking to somebody. But I do suspect that they have because and I only have a few more minutes left because I want to keep this to only 3 videos. I do suspect that they have used that technology just because, I've had these conversations with people. Well, they'll be responding to things that I'm not even saying to them. And it's like they're having a conversation with somebody else that's not even in the room, that's not even there. And it's so weird, you guys. And I know that you targeted individuals out there. I know you've had this experience. And there was this one lady, and I can't remember her name, Carla Turner, that's her name. And go back and watch that video. I'll link it to this. I dubbed her into that video that I made at the very end, showing her at a conference where she was describing a situation where her and her husband both heard the other person ask a question. They were face to face in their own home, and they both heard the other person ask a question. Okay, and neither one of them asked the question. And all of a sudden, both of them just started responding to the other person, but neither of them asked the question. So I'm just telling you, I really suspect that with the targeted individuals, this is the technology that they're using. So you guys, I'm going to let you go, and I just made this video to try to condense it, make it easier to get this information out to people. All right, so peace out.